Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be talking about the obstacles and hurdles associated with your build that, to be quite frankly, more often than not, they feel like they're all attempts to just making you quit on the project. Like, it really be like that though, man. Like, it fucking feels like that. And if you're someone who works on your own ride, then you know that this message right here is going to hit directly home. Like, I'm literally going through this with my truck right now. You see, like the drive shaft, my drive shaft on the Silverado, on the Turbo Silverado, decided to just exit the group chat. And it said a couple weeks ago, it says, "Yo, I'm out." And while I'm glad that the damage wasn't worse, I really am, because things could have got a lot worse. When you fuck up a drive shaft, things go all over the place, man. It could have been a lot worse. It could have hit the ground. It could have lifted the truck up. It could have flipped us. It could have broke the gas tank. But thankfully, it wasn't as bad as really it could have been. But the process of getting it back up and running has felt like a fucking icy, slippery, uphill battle that just doesn't fucking stop throwing snow on top of him. Like, I was talking with one of my friends about the situation, like what was going on and what I'm going through. And when he mentioned, he was like, "Man, I'm going through something similar with my build." Like, the thing with him is just a whole different set of problems, but nonetheless, it seemed like he just couldn't catch a break while working on getting his car back on the road too. And then that's when it hit me. I was like, man, you should make a podcast episode about this subject, because I bet that there are other dudes that are going through the same frustrations as we are. Like, it might not be the same exact problems. However, the overall struggles will be similar. And I know this because thinking back on other times when I've tried to fix different issues throughout that build and throughout my other build and with my motorcycle builds, like, man, I've gone through similar set of emotions. It's a fucking roller coaster of emotions. And if you're not mentally good, that shit will get the best of you. And really what I've learned is that it's all part of the game. Like, it's kind of like the success tax that we pay to play. We say that all the time when shit breaks and like, "Oh man, 6 goes, you gotta pay to play." Well, think of all these things as like the success tax that we gotta pay. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it truly is what makes it worth it. Like, it's all about persevering through the challenges and staying positive despite things not working out for you right at that moment, or at the next moment, or at the following moment, or at the next one. Because if you quit, they're not gonna work out at all. But if you keep showing up, if you keep attacking it, if you keep a positive mindset on it, eventually you're gonna fucking get it. All right, so let's get back to the story of my Turbo Silverado. Right, it was a Friday afternoon, man. I had just finished washing the truck. It was looking clean, and I went to my friend's house to scoop him up, because I had asked him if he could come with me to go visit the body shop where my truck originally got painted, right? And my entire truck, for you who didn't know, it was painted just about 3 years ago or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, around 3 years. Let's just say 3 years. And now on the passenger side of the bed, on that panel on the back there, the clear coat is already starting to diminish. And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I said, "Man, I'm kind of bummed out about it, because like I just paid fucking a lot of money to get this truck painted. Like I paid for a really good paint job, and unfortunately that area didn't come out too good." So my buddy is really good friends with the dude who painted the truck. I'm not really like, I know who he is, and we talk, but since my buddy is really good friends with him, I was like, I wanted him to come with me so that if there are any issues or whatever, what kind of just relationships go a long way. So that's why I scooped him up. And so we were later on the way to the shop, probably like 5 minutes out too, man. We were so close. And typical me, there was this long straightaway, on the way there. And so I decided to turn up the boost and smash the gas. Have some fun, man. I was with my buddy. Like, it used to be his truck, and like, man, I wanted to fucking do a fucking pull. And so go ahead, I slow down, I turn up the boost, hit it in first gear, crazy, shit starts spinning like crazy, like usual on first gear, but I actually like that it spins, goes sideways, fucking, it pops when you shift into second, so I let off, shifts into second, goes, it's still spinning, I'm fucking pedaling it, then it catches grip, and as soon as it catches a little grip, within like 1 second into the pool, bam! Fucking we hear this loud bang, and then like we hear this loud clunking noise from like underneath the bed, under the truck, and I was like, oh shit! And then my buddy's like, yo, the drive shaft, pull over, pull over. And I was like, fuck. All right, so we pull over. I get out of the truck, and sure enough, there's the drive shaft. It's fucking hanging for its dear life, and with the middle yoke all torn off. It's a two-piece drive shaft, and it was all fucked up, like, man. And I'm me trying to, lighten the situation. I was just like, man, oh shit, too much power. But knowing deep down inside, man, I wanted to fucking cry. I wanted to cry. I was like, oh, this is my daily driver. It's my only car. Like, I was like, fuck. Like, it had been going good. It hadn't broke for a while. And actually, I'm lying about that because I have recently overcame some fuel pump issues that were nonstop, but I fixed it and I thought everything was good, So whatever, long story short, after going on the huge mission of now we had to get a truck towed and all this stuff, I couldn't even bring it to my house because my driveway is a little slanted, and then now the drive shaft broke, and because I did a 15-inch conversion on the back, I don't have a rear, like an e-brake on it, so like big mission. So I had to take it to my buddy's house, and whatever, he helped me out big time, super thankful. And so the next day I went back to his house because by the time we dropped it off, it was late, and I was like, bro, I didn't really want to fucking mess with it. So went back the next day to fully assess all the damages, and I had worked at building drive shafts for almost 6 years when I was younger. This was before I got into my career of construction, before I got into construction management. And so the drive shaft territory is not new for me, right? Like I have a couple years of experience on that. So from the looks of, like, when I started looking at everything, I was like, all right, it needs a middle yoke, it needs straps, it needs U-joints, and since I was already there, might as well service the entire shaft, change the center bearing too, change the end joints, and then to replace the middle yoke, it's going to be a weld, and then we're going to have to balance it. And so more or less, like, based on my experience back then, I was like, man, this is about maybe like 500 worth of repairs for the two-piece steel shaft, man. And here's the thing. I've been wanting to upgrade to a heavy-duty 5-inch aluminum one-piece shaft, like similar to what like the big 3500 dualies come with, for a while now, right? But I never pulled the trigger on that mod because I wanted to wait until I redid my rear end. But the drive shaft on my truck was in working condition. Like, it was the drive shaft that I bought it with. And so it really, at the time, I had been putting off that mod because it really didn't make sense to upgrade it because I had other things that I wanted to work on. And then, quite frankly, now that I've been working on getting my Camaro back on the road, I was like, man, I don't really need to spend that money right now, and so I hadn't done it until now, that is, right? And so I called around a couple of different drive shaft shops, and then online, and then I found Action Machine Inc., right? And I told them about my truck, I told them what I was looking for, and they recommended everything that I needed, right? The thing is that now I needed to change the rear pinion yoke on the rear end so that I didn't use like a little weak crossover joint, because we're building a 5-inch heavy-duty aluminum, which is a lot lighter than the two-piece steel. And so we would have to use a crossover joint at the rear with the stock yoke. And so one thing led to the other, and then they sent me what I needed. And then I needed to install this new yoke before I could get a new drive shaft measurement, and they can custom build my shaft, right? But since I was leaving to Costa Rica for vacation, I didn't get the opportunity to change it out before I left the country, right? And so then when I went on vacation, whatever, did the thing, and I was like, man, I like had it in my mind. I was like, bro, my truck is broken. It's on jack stands. Going on vacation. By the time I come back, I still gotta install this yoke, and then I still gotta measure it, and then they gotta build it. And so I knew that it was still, after I come back from vacation, at least another 2 weeks to get my truck running. But whatever, it is what it is. I got back from vacation. I borrowed my wife's SRT. I headed over to my friend's house and I installed the yoke. Tried to install the yoke at least. And that's when I tried to do it. That's when I noticed that the one that they sent me, it was different from the one that I had taken off from the original one, right? And like, sure, I knew that the U-joint sizes were going to be different, but the back side, the side that goes into the pinion where the seal rides on, it was different. So I know that that one wasn't going to work. And I was like, it is what it is. Like, fuck it. We were ready here, right? So the following day, I went ahead and I got back on the phone with Action Machine, and I told them about like my issue. And they had to, oh yeah, like, with your truck, it's kind of like the middle year where they changed, the seal dimension, and so they have two different kinds of yoke. And since I hadn't taken off mine, I was trying to do it like kind of on the road thing, like, get the drive shaft and get the parts so I don't have to go back and forth so much from my house to my friend's house, since that's my daily driver. I was limited on the vehicle. So they just kind of guessed on which one it was, and unfortunately they ended up getting it wrong. No problem, right? They're going to send me the correct one along with a shipping label so that I could send the other one back. And I was like, what? It is what it is. We're here now. Sounds good. Thank you so much for helping me. I'll wait for the yoke. And so waited several more days for the yoke to arrive. By that time, I had noticed that my pinion yoke looked a little worn out, and I was like, bro, we're already here. Excuse me, my pinion seal was a little worn out already. So I was like, you know what? I'm already here. I don't want to install this new yoke on it, and then the seal ends up leaking, because when I took out the old yoke, all the rear end fluid kind of leaked out. So I was going to put new rear end fluid, and I didn't want that shit to leak. So I was like, good, let me change the pinion seal while I'm at it, right? And that was the time, I said. Well, like, to be truthful, like, I've changed many seals in my life, and I didn't think much of it. Like, especially one of those. Like, I was like, man, I got that shit. But this pinion seal had different fucking plans. Like, the first night that I went back to install this new seal, when I had the yoke already, because I was limiting my travel time, so I waited till I had the yoke. I ordered the seal, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna install the seal, put the yoke, put the nut down, get the measurement, and then, try to take care of it in one shot. Couldn't get the fucking the pinion seal in place. Like, I really didn't. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get it to line up. And I was like, bro, the fucking seal is not difficult. And I would even catch myself watching YouTube videos of how different techniques and how they're doing it. And I'm not a professional mechanic, but I ain't no rookie either. Like, so the fact that I couldn't get this working was really frustrating me. And 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 really, I was just fucking frustrated as fuck. And literally for a couple hours, I was there trying to get it in, and I was using like some random tools that I had, because I didn't have the specific tool that would fall into the seal groove to hammer it in. That's how I used to do it back when I worked at the drive shaft shop. Um, um, and so I was using what we had, and I just couldn't find anything. We were looking through everything, and after a couple hours, I said, "Fuck it, I'm calling it quits." Right? I don't have the right tool. I'm gonna call it quits. I'm gonna go drive around tomorrow and see what I can find. See if we can make some type of homemade contraption to really bang the seal in. The problem is that they do have tools to bang in the seals, but they have flat kind of coupler style. I guess you want to say like a round thing, whatever. But so you bang them in. But the problem is that those are all meant for when the pinion shaft is not installed. But since the pinion shaft is installed and I'm only changing the seal, I have to find something that has a big center hole around it, and then it has the diameter of the seal so that you can hit it. And it has to be long enough so that you can tap it from the end. Um, so it's not like an easy thing to find, right? And so the next day, whatever, I went to Home Depot, I went to Harbor Freight, went to Northern Tools, and I walked the whole stores, man. I would fucking go everything, trying to think of what I could really invent, and and walked the whole Home Depot, couldn't find nothing. Walked whole Harbor Freight, couldn't really find nothing. They had some seal tools there, but like, I opened one up and it wasn't gonna work. And finally, I walked all of Northern Tools, and I found something like hard piece of plastic thing contraption that I made up. I put 3 pieces together. I was like, oh, this looks like it's gonna work. So I bought that, and then that night I went back to install the seal again, but the seal had different plans. I tried, man, and I tried and I tried, and I was hammering the right thing, and no luck. And the more I tried to fucking get it in, the more I was kind of bending the seal and damaging it. And I was like, bro, I was fucking so frustrated, man. After several tries, I just ended up damaging the seal, and I was like, fuck. Like, there goes another day wasted, I said, right? And remember, without installing the seal, I cannot install the new yoke. And without installing the new yoke, I cannot get a measurement for the new drive shaft, which they still have to custom build and then ship it out my way. This is why I was stressing so badly, because not only could I not find the right tool, but even after I figured things out, I was still about 1 to 2 weeks from receiving the drive shaft and getting my daily driver back on the road. I've been borrowing my friends' cars. I've been getting around on my motorcycle. And then here in Miami, it's fucking been raining the last couple of days nonstop. So it's been, I don't want to get wet, right? And so Whatever. The next day, one of my friends recommended. He's like, "Yo, why don't you try your Miami mufflers? Go over there and see if they can have a tube out of the exhaust tubes that would fit the seal." I was like, "Man, that's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that one, but all right." So I took him up on the idea, head over to Miami Mufflers, and I took the seal. Bought a brand new one, and I took the seal with me. And then they didn't have the size, right? But he was like, "Yo, look, we don't have that specific size, but we could use a smaller size, and I can put it in my machine, and basically we can expand the tube to the size that you need for the seal, kind of basically making a custom fitting tube that would sit inside the seal groove so that I can hammer it down without damaging it." Like, as soon as the guy saw the seal and what I was looking for, he's like, "Oh, pinion seal, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, the pinion's installed?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, and I got happy when he was asking me those questions, because I was like, all right, this guy's been through this, what I'm going through. So he was like, "Yo, I got you." And I was like, "Fuck yes." Like, right? Been at this for several days already, nonstop. I couldn't find the right tool. I kept damaging the seals. I was frustrated. But when he said, "Yo, I got you," and he was explaining to me the problem, I was like, the things are turning around. Yes. And fucking, he comes back, expanded pipe, gave it to me long enough so he could clear the pinion, hammer from the back. He's like, "Done." And I was like, man, seeing what he did, I was so fucking ecstatic because I knew it was gonna work. I really did. And I was like, fuck, thank you. Fucking wanted to give that guy a hug, but he was like, "Yo, look, it's gonna be $10. And I was like, okay. So I paid for it. And that night I went back, I headed back to my friend's house to work on my truck. And sure enough, as soon as I put the custom tool into the seal, and I put the seal on the face of the rear end, and I just hit it the first try, bam, you know, hit it with the hammer. Instantly, first try, the seal starts to go in. I was like, "Oh man, this is fucking gravy," right? Hit it a couple more times to make sure the seal was bottomed out completely. And bam, right after, I got the new pinion yoke installed, bottomed out, put the nut down, and I was able to get finally a drive shaft measurement, right? And so the very next morning, I went ahead, I followed back with Action Machine, I gave them new measurements, and now I'm currently in the process of waiting for my new 5-inch heavy duty aluminum one piece custom drive shaft. Right? Going from steel to aluminum, it dropped about 40 pounds. It's going to drop about 40 pounds of rotational weight. So I know this mod is going to make the truck faster for sure. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. The opportunity hadn't lined up itself, right? I can't wait. I can't wait to test it out, which is crazy because I'm like, man, I just got my truck back. I should probably take it easy so I don't break it again. But wide open Randy. My truck's been down for almost 2 months now. Like, by the time this is all gonna be said and done, like, it's probably gonna be 2 months, but the results will be fucking worth it. So what's the whole point of this story? Why did I take you through this whole shabago of what's going on with my truck and what I've been doing and the frustrations I've been going through? Well, it's really to relay the message that there are gonna be many times throughout your build that you feel like it's giving you a way harder time than needed, right? Things will feel like you're swimming upstream. Like, you're gonna get stressed out. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna feel like quitting. You're gonna fucking feel like cursing, and you're gonna feel like throwing that fucking hammer at your car, at your ride, and be like, fuck, why don't you want to work with me? But it's in those moments that you need to dig deep. You need to persevere through the challenges. Like, take a breather, walk away, like, or approach it another day if you need to, but don't you fucking dare quit. Like, stay focused on the outcome, and it will help you push through the hard times. And when that happens, when it happens to you, my friend, remember this. Remember this and say it to yourself out loud. If you have to say it internally, say it out yourself out loud, whatever it is, but it is up to you to guide yourself, to coach yourself, to get you through those problems, right? Like, say to yourself, this is not my build. This is not that my build wants me to quit, because it's so easy for you to think, oh, it's against me. It doesn't want to work out. It just doesn't want to get back on the road. Like, you just start putting all these fucking words in it. But it's not that our build doesn't want us to quit. It's that our build wants us to level up despite the roadblocks and challenges that it's given us, right? Like, this is happening for me, not to me. We will figure this shit out. So foot on the gas, baby. You got this shit. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back and become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. Join me on this journey while we empower our people to do more and to be more. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, if you're going through it, if you know someone who's going through it, especially because these bills become fucking very challenging as you go, and sometimes, most of the time actually, these fucking hurdles seem very big. They seem very like it's not working out for you. But if you're going through it, you know someone is going through it, go ahead. Ask, man, share this on your story and tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions to get more gearheads to really see and hear about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how we get our community to grow and to help more people out there. I'll catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.